APSU and JMG ask governments to implement MLC 2006. ALMA pushes for J&J vaccine for seafarers. Two seafarers receive MARINA BRAVERY Awards. Welcome to Marino World Weekend. I am Dean Bacani. The Associated Marine Officers and Seamen's Union of the Philippines, or AMOSUP, Associated Philippine Seafarers Union, or APSU, and Joint Manning Group, or JMG, have asked the Philippine government and other port and flag states to implement Maritime Labor Convention, or MLC 2006, during the COVID-19 pandemic. In a joint statement recently released, the maritime social partners appealed to strengthen crew change by ensuring that Filipino seafarers are able to safely and expeditiously process all documents required for their deployment to and repatriation from their vessels, can travel to and from the Philippines and their place of work through such means as adequate airline flights that are made available to them, can transit between regions and states within countries for the purposes of taking up employment, being repatriated, or for medical care, including dental care ashore, are exempted from quarantine requirements, if any, upon arrival in the jurisdictions in which they join or leave their vessel, except where they test positive for COVID-19 and after observing the required health and safety protocols, can obtain medical care, including dental care ashore when required, can obtain shore leave and access to shore-based welfare services, and are permitted to access training necessary for their employment where it is available. The manifesto was signed by AMOSUP President Dr. Conrado Oca, APSU President Michael Mendoza, and JMG Chairman Roy Alampay. Meantime, the organizations expressed full support to the Philippine government initiatives in digital vaccination certificate that will be harmonized and interoperable with those of other countries using the framework developed by the World Health Organization, or WHO. To this end, AMOSUP, PSU, and JMG likewise called on all concerned flag states and port states to promote the mutual acceptance of such digital vaccination certificates of seafarers while transiting to or from their vessels and when going ashore. The Association of Licensed Manning Agencies, or ALMA Maritime Group, has urged the Department of Health, or DOH, to allocate only Johnson & Johnson J&J one-shot dose vaccines for international seafarers. In a recently held Maritime Industry Symposium, ALMA Maritime Group President Cristina Garcia underscored this is to accelerate vaccination rollout to international seafarers. The group has reported more than 30% of cases wherein seafarers did not show up for their second dose because they have already been deployed or are already quarantined or have returned to their provinces. Garcia adds the government may also look into the possibility of accepting J&J vaccines donations from our international maritime counterparts. Of the more than 3 million J&J vaccines that arrived in the country, only 1,300 one-shot dose vaccines were allocated to the MARINA-initiated vaccination rollout for our seafarers.
In our records, there are more than 30% of cases wherein seafarers did not show up for their second dose because they have already been deployed or are already in quarantine or they have returned to their provinces. This is something that we really have to address in preparation for the eventual mandatory requirement of receiving countries, ship owners, and charterers for fully vaccinated seafarers to man their ships. Suggested solution? DOH and VOC really has to look into allocating only Johnson & Johnson for our international seafarers, or at least look into the possibility of accepting J&J donations from our international maritime counterparts. If that happens, there is no doubt that we will increase the number of fully vaccinated international seafarers. With J&J, we can concentrate our vaccination program in NCR without the need to schedule and master lists.
Up next, 2 seafarers receive Marina Bravery Award. TESDA approves call to resume face-to-face training.
What if I tell you that KSIM Connect has become a reality? It is the cloud-based ecosystem for maritime education and training, where Kongsberg provides simulation and services to all members. As an instructor, my main goal is to educate and train seafarers to acquire skills promoting safety, sustainability, and efficiency at sea. At KSIM Connect, I can efficiently manage my simulators, my exercises, and my students. In the exercise archive, I can store my library of exercises, and if I want, collaborate and share them with my colleagues or others in the global community. KSIM Connect enables me to give students access to cloud simulation, so they can train anytime and anywhere while learning at their own pace. In addition, I can explore the library of models and exercise areas, download or subscribe those that fit the learning objectives. And I can even order spare parts or a service visit if needed. Kongsberg has started to create the future of maritime education and training by creating the community where instructors can find news, explore and download available simulator models, distribute or share exercises that fit the curriculum. Imagine using KSIM Connect to integrate our simulators in the same virtual exercise environment, enabling students to train and interact together. It doesn't matter whether you're in Singapore, Australia, or in the United States. As long as you're online, you are part of the knowledge-sharing community. Kongsberg is shaping the future of maritime education and training by creating the community. Let's continue building this community together for the benefit of ourselves and the entire maritime training industry. Join KSIM Connect today.
Mariana Academy of Maritime Studies. Full STCW assessment for seafarers. One-stop shop. Unique with mapped up bridge. Mariana Academy of Maritime Studies stands firm on its commitment on training and assessment despite challenges of the pandemic. Technical Education and Skills Development Authority or TESDA has resumed the face-to-face training and competency assessment in the National Capital Region or NCR. This is in response to an earlier appeal of the Association of Technical Schools in Manila or ATSMI led by their president, Dr. Glenn Mark Blasquez. TESDA Secretary Isidro La Peña issued a circular on the guidelines of the pilot implementation of Alert Level System for COVID-19 response. NCR has been placed under General Community Quarantine or GCQ with Alert Level 4 from September 16 to 30. La Peña, however, encouraged all TESDA field offices and training institutions to strictly enforce the compliance to the public health and safety protocols and the reinforcement of contact tracing systems. The Republic of France is sponsoring a multi-role training vessel for the Philippine Merchant Marine Academy, or PMMA. The announcement was made by French Ambassador to the Philippines, Michelle Bocaz, during her visit to the Academy on September 23. Via government-to-government transaction, the French National Treasury will finance the construction and delivery of the 84-meter aluminum hull diesel-electric hybrid multi-role training vessel and includes a 5-year integrated logistics support for maintenance. The agreement was signed by PMMA Superintendent Commodore Joel Abutal and Jacques Briand, Country Director of the French shipbuilding company OSEA. Abutal says the MRTV project was already lodged to the National Economic Development Authority, or NEDA, awaiting assessment from the Investments Coordinating Committee, and hopes that the keel laying to commence before the end of 2022. The vessel will be used for shipboard training of PMMA cadets, as well as cadets from other maritime higher education institutions, as part of the STCW requirement of 12-month sea phase for BS Marine Transportation and Marine Engineering. Up next, 2 seafarers receive Marina Bravery Award. PCG showcases capabilities. Seafarers received the Maritime Industry Authority, or MARINA, Exceptional Bravery at Sea Awards. Captain Melvin Villanueva was recognized for his professionalism and leadership while commanding the search and rescue operations for 86 refugees that were found drifting in the Mediterranean Sea. Second Officer La Crucer Relativo, together with his fellow officers and crew, saved the life of a man who was adrift at sea for 2 days with his boat almost capsized. Aside from the certificate of recognition, both Villanueva and Relativo were given lifelong priority when processing STCW-related applications at the Marina offices. Moreover, the officers and crew of MV Fleur N will also be given priority lane when applying for any of the STCW-related certificates at Marina offices as a token of appreciation for their exemplary teamwork, dedication, and professionalism.
Captain Melvin J. Villanueva of MV Fleur N was recognized for his professionalism and leadership in commanding the search and rescue operations in saving the lives of the 86 refugees drifting in the Mediterranean Sea. According to Captain Villanueva, good decisions on that is always them coming from God. A perfect timing without reservation just to save lives. And after all, it is a team effort. Captain Villanueva also acknowledged the teamwork of the officers and crew, and he was glad that they were under his command. Captain Villanueva was nominated by the KCJM Maritime Corporation. The second nominee is Second Officer La Crucer P. Relativo of MV Angeles, who have rescued and saved the life of Mr. Stuart B., who was adrift at sea for 2 days with boat almost capsized. He was nominated by the PTC group of companies for his initiative and warm welcome and cares to Mr. B. According to Second Officer Relativo, the rescue of Mr. Stuart B has left an impact to him that he will always remember. He added that this story is no different from many others who are pleading for help today, especially in this time of pandemic. We must lend help in any way we can, whenever the opportunity to help is present. The Maritime Industry Authority congratulates Captain Melvin J. Villanueva and Second Officer La Cruiser P. Relativo for exhibiting an exceptional bravery at sea by saving lives. Truly, the Filipino seafarers in any parts of the world are committed to risk their own life to save life at sea, or in attempting to prevent or mitigate damage in the marine environment.
In line with the celebration of the 22nd National Maritime Week, the Philippine Coast Guard, or PCG, has showcased its capabilities in a demonstration conducted at the vicinity waters of Manila Bay. The PCG personnel showed how they perform their tasks in anti-terrorism, maritime law enforcement, and search and rescue or SAR operations utilizing the PCG's floating and aerial assets. The activity underscores a modern PCG always ready to serve the Filipino people with patriotism, compassion, and fear of God.
We shall witness the showcase of assets and personnel of the Philippine Coast Guard conducting the following stages of the PCG capability demonstration on counterterrorism, maritime law enforcement, and search and rescue. On this particular event, the scenario is a sea-jacked passenger vessel, DF-302. Ladies and gentlemen, may I call your attention to DF-302, which is being harassed by an identified lawless element.
Mayday, mayday, mayday. This is MV Habagat at latitude 14 degree 24 decimal 449 minutes north, longitude 120 degree 37 decimal 506 minutes east at vicinity of 1 decimal 8 nautical miles northwest ng Corridor Island. Kasalukuyan kaming hinahabol at pilit pinapatigil ng armadong tao sakay ng isang bangka.
MV Habagat, kanang last port of call ninyo? Ilan ang total passenger and crew on board? At ano ang speed at heading nyo? Over.
Coast Guard NCR, last port of call namin MOA, Seaside Boulevard, Pasay City, bound to Kamayang, coast, Bataan. Current speed 15 knots, heading 180 degrees with 5 passengers and 6 crew on board. Over.
MV Habagat, this is Coast Guard District NCRCL. Make effort na hindi kayo makyat. Execute massive maneuver. Papunta na dyan ang rescue. Over.
BRP Malabrigo and BRP Panglao. This is Coast Guard District National Capital Region, Central Luzon. You are hereby directed to proceed at latitude 14 degrees 24 decimal 449 minutes north, longitude 120 degrees 37 decimal 506 minutes east, or at vicinity 1.8 nautical miles northwest of Corridor Island, to assist and provide necessary assistance to SB Habagat with 5 passengers and 6 crew on board with last port of call at MOA Side Boulevard, Pasay City, bound to Kamaya, Port Bataan. Initial .49 minutes north, longitude 120 degrees 37.506 minutes east, or at vicinity 1.8 nautical miles northwest of Corridor Island. Nakikita namin ng mga tao na nagpapanik sa vessel. Over. Coast Guard Yellow 1451. This is BRP Malabrigo. Roger on that. We are on underway. We are on underway. Over.
BRP Malabrigo, this is BRP Panglao. For info, nasa vicinity na kami. I-deploy na namin ang rig to conduct search and rescue. Over.
Let us direct our attention to the CGH-1451 as we shall witness one of the highlights of the event as the Coast Guard Aviation Force performs the aero-medical evacuation to the said passenger. Ladies and gentlemen, that completes the PCG capability demonstration and sea review. In behalf of the Commandant of the Philippine Coast Guard Vice Admiral Leopoldo Villaroya, we thank you all for gracing this event. Maraming salamat at mabuhay ang Philippine Coast Guard, ang Department of Transportation, mga kapatid naming ahensya at ang sambayanang Pilipino. We are your Coast Guard for safer ships, secure and cleaner seas.
Next, on Maritime Viewpoints, Mr. David Hammond, founder and CEO, and OSY Ren Bernard Balinis, Advisor for Youth of the Human Rights at Sea, or HRAS, talk about upholding the rights of our seafarers. The month of September is declared as Maritime and Archipelagic Nation Awareness Month, or MANAMO, pursuant to the Proclamation 316 series of 2017, which synchronizes the National Maritime Day, International Coastal Cleanup Day, and Fish Conservation Week. The MANAMO theme for 2021 is Our Seas, Our Livelihood, Our Heritage, Connecting Lives and Nations. Let us celebrate our maritime heritage and marine wealth, as well as raise awareness on the challenges and opportunities. Thank you for watching Marino World Weekend. I am Lynn Bacani. Stay safe.